Okay. I'm actually loath to make a video like this because I've never called out a company before. There's plenty of bad companies out there in photo gear. Especially smaller companies. Fine, there are always other options, and there's certainly another option in the case of Fotodiox. On my adapter, the aperture ring spring actually came off, and it's possible it could have fallen into my camera, which with the mechanical shutter firing, I take apart cameras and fix them. I don't know if you know this or not, but the leaves on the aperture blades are made of Teflon coated Kevlar. The slightest little thing will cause them to crease or wrinkle, and once that happens, it's destroyed. Not to mention scratching the actual sensor. Well, you scratch the sensor cover plate, but it's the same thing as scratching the sensor. I mentioned an issue I had with a person I'm not going to name when Jason Lanier actually came down here to make a video with me, and we both had the same encounter with the same person. And the exact same experience. Like, anybody could have a bad day. You call up somebody that's really bubbly and nice, and maybe their dog peed on their shoes, and you're just having a bad day. But we both had the exact same experience with this particular person. Also with the equipment of Fotodiox. I have to say that I will never, ever, ever buy a piece of Fotodiox equipment ever again. I was absolutely disgusted. Well, I called up to get not a freebie, but a test of a particular Fotodiox product. No freebies, okay? I don't get any freebies. A test of a Fotodiox product. I ended up buying it. I own it right now anyway. I won't mention that product. And the person actually that I talked to, this was the same person I confirmed with Lanier on, he said, "Oh, somebody important came in the door. I'm sorry." And that's when the phone went down. If people hate me, that's fine. The guy knew who I was. Maybe that's why he slammed the phone down, right? You don't treat anybody that way. Anybody, especially a customer. Much less people that make videos on the quality and reputation of gear. So I don't know if you remember back. I'm gonna reference Jason because he actually made a video where he used an adapter that lets you do autofocus between your Sony camera and Nikon lenses, and it destroyed his camera. I asked him about that when he was down here too. I was like, I remember that video. He's like, yeah. He said, and it's in his video too that it destroyed his camera. He's like, yeah, that so-and-so thing, destroyed my camera. And he said a couple of other things about an encounter with Fotodiox that I'm not going to mention because that was between me and him. But I will tell you personally, the fact of that spring coming off of the aperture mech, and the fact that I made a very polite call. I was like, can I borrow this piece of equipment just for a week to test it? I'd like to see if I could buy it and do a video review on it. Big deal. It wasn't asking for any freebies or nothing like that. It was like, oh, somebody, and I think there's the exact words. Oh, somebody important just came in the door. Gotta go. Boom. Not in like, well, it really, in a very rude, extremely rude way. So, I was treated like crap by Fotodiox, which fine, who cares? You really shouldn't do that to anybody. I'm nobody special in that regard. But, your product coming loose after only 6 hours of use. Oh, by the way. Yes, by the way. Oh, God, I'm so glad I remembered this. A person that sells an enormous amount of camera gear bought an adapter, a Fotodiox adapter, a very important person. I'm going to leave his name out of this. He bought an adapter to adapt his Hasselblad lenses to his GFX, Fujifilm. He bought a GFX. And the mechanism broke, and he called me up on a Sunday morning wanting to know how he could release it. And I was looking at online pictures since I didn't have that particular adapter. It wouldn't let him remove the lens from the adapter. It had locked in place where I think a screw came loose. He had his technician finally solve it. That the adapter was seized onto the Hasselblad lens. He's obviously able to get it off the Fujifilm camera. All I have to do is hit the release button on the Fujifilm to release any mount. It's just a dumb adapter. In the case of Jason's adapter, it's a Fotodiox adapter with true electronic contacts, and I don't know, I think a chipset that actually drove the autofocus on the lens between the Sony camera. So there's 3 horror stories from Fotodiox, hardcore confirmed by Jason, myself, and the phone call that I had with Fotodiox, undeniable hardcore, and the fact that my buddy, who sells, he's the head honcho, I'm not going to tell you which company that he sells, is his business, you know, have that issue with the Fotodiox. He was actually telling me he was cussing on the phone and cussing endlessly before he called me for some help. I was able to help a little bit, but ultimately his technician solved it. So I have no idea what what's going on at Fotodiox, and nor is it my business. If any company wants to run themselves into the ground, they obviously have the freedom to do so. You know, some businesses are like that. They're like, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. And it's like, we don't want you. Some companies just operate that way, and I don't know if that's a survivability option when there's a lot of other options out there. I think Yahoo actually technically stands for you always have other options. So Yahoo. I'm disgusted by the way Fotodiox treated me. I'm disgusted by the way my Fotodiox product failed on me. I'm disgusted by the way my buddy's adapter fell apart and therefore locked his Hasselblad lens onto the adapter for use on his GFX. So I will never buy your products. I will never even mention you again, and I have no idea why you would run a company so, you can't speak for everybody. You can't speak for an entire company just due to one individual, which, by the way, me and Jason confirmed this individual specifically. But it's disgusting and it's appalling. And that's my story on Fotodiox. I've obviously attacked Sony in the past, and I don't like a lot of and there's a lot of really valid reasons why I've attacked Sony. Due to the fact that they don't repair their own cameras and they obsolete everything every 9 months. So I have a lot of valid reasons for not liking Sony. But as far as a small company like this, I've never made a video like this before. And I had to actually think before making this video. It's like, should I make? It's like, yeah, I should make this video. So that was my experience. And if you want to look back on Jason's video, I don't have the link, but I'm sure you could find that also. And my buddy's experience, by the way, by failing him, he's not going to carry Fotodiox adapters now, thanks to your horrible quality. He's not going to carry them now because you caused them an endless pile of frustration. Your adapter, twitched and drooled on itself, and now he's pissed, and you'll never get his business, and he'll never distribute your products. So, kudos to you for that one. So, hate this video, like it. Those are the facts. I reported accurately what happened to me, 100% on my product. And also on the phone call that I had, that interaction. You're like, hey, somebody important came in the door. Boom! God, I'm so glad you treat your customers that way. Good luck with that. Hugs and kisses.